Good morning, folks. A little slow on the uptake there, wasn't I? Yeah, but it shouldn't surprise anyone. But be that as it may, here we are, coffee and complaints, another morning, another short take. And we're going to talk about whether this is a shut the fuck up for a moment or not, because I'm not sure what this is. But what I am sure is that I was disturbed enough by what I saw yesterday to make this video. So we're going to start with Kyle Rittenhouse. So this is Kyle now quoting scripture. He's really moved along, the pipeline here into full-on GOP mode. This is their MO. The worse the person is, the more they quote scripture. Okay. So this is Kyle saying he wants to use his platform that he's been given to do good. He wants to be the guy who does good, that makes positive change. And that's going to be his New Year's resolution. This was posted yesterday. So he jumped right on the whole December 1st thing so he can really milk this for the next 30 fucking days. Okay. So he quotes scripture. He quotes, I believe it was Romans 8:28. And this is what it says. And we know that all that happens to us is working for our good if we love our God and are fitting into his plans. Let me go through that one more time. And we know that all that happens to us is working for our good if we love God and are fitting into his plans. So this is the beauty of the Bible, is you get to interpret this and manipulate this into whatever you want. So in other words, Kyle going to Kenosha, killing 2 people and shooting a third, was him fitting into God's plans, because it's all about Paul. And as we all know, any of us who had the Bible drilled into our head in Catholic schools know that Paul is sometimes considered the second greatest figure to Jesus himself, because Paul used to be Saul, and he was a bad guy when he was named Saul. Okay. And shit happened to him on the road to him becoming an apostle. He converted. He became a good guy because he fit into God's plan. Well, apparently, our friend Kyle Rittenhouse, who is, in my humble estimation, a fucking thug, is now the new Paul. He is the apostle of the do good shit. He has found Jesus. I feel better about life already. So then let's move on to Brevard County, Florida, D-U-H, new spelling of the state, where they ousted the school superintendent because they felt like they had too much bad shit going on with the students. They just weren't scared enough of what would happen to them if they misbehaved. So they ousted the school superintendent, and they had this clown, the school board administrator, Matt Sussin, announced from, I believe it was a jail area. The barbed wire was there, and he was flanked by a couple of, I don't know, legitimate thugs. And one of those thugs was a sheriff. And during this announcement, Mr. Sussin announces that the Brevard County is going to have, quote, the most prolific school discipline policy this district has ever had. And then, of course, we have a freaking sheriff come up, Sheriff Ivey, bald, fat, bloated, right-wing, the usual kind of guy that you would put up there to talk about disciplining students. A sheriff. What the fuck? What the fuck, people? Okay. They'd like, according to him, there's just not enough discipline. Kids don't fear enough. Suspensions and all that are great. They don't fear suspensions. They don't fear any of that. And then they really don't fear, like the old days, that they're going to have the cheeks of their ass torn off for not doing right in class. Those were his exact words as they announced this new draconian policy of discipline in Brevard County, Florida, where they made this pronouncement from a fucking jail, okay? And they had the primary speaker, the deliverer of the great news to the students, be the sheriff. If that ain't authentic frontier gibberish, I don't know what is. What the fuck, people? I mean, I can't, it's not like I can make this shit up, and I really don't have to. This is also the sheriff who stated in the same meeting that the whole reason for the Parkland shooting was because they had very lax discipline policies. Who knew? All you have to do is discipline the victims and there won't be any killers. What the hell? Does anybody hear any of this? Is anyone paying attention to any of this? But it doesn't get any better here. Because it's really time to stop looking at Kanye West like he's a clown show or that he is mentally ill and off his meds. That's giving him an excuse. The clown show part is downplaying what this guy is. He was interviewed yesterday by Alex Jones, and he was totally unhinged on a freaking pro-Hitler rant where he gave Hitler credit for inventing highways and the microphone that he sings through. So how can we not see good in Hitler and Nazism? So let's just fact check those 2 points. Number one, the Autobahn, the German Autobahn, was the forebearer of the highway. Eisenhower was actually credited with inventing the highway system, but he will tell you himself that he built it off the Autobahn system. The Autobahn system, however, was not invented by Hitler, okay? It was invented and pushed for by millionaire industrialists and other people in that ilk because they wanted to be able to travel for miles without interruption, without dust on dirt roads. So what did Hitler do? He does what any good fucking politician does, especially one who's looking to overtake a nation and build fascism and hatred and oppression. He takes a picture of, he has a picture taken of him sticking a fucking shovel in a pile of dirt. He did not invent the Autobahn. And by the way, he also didn't invent the microphone. But right here I have the inventor of the microphone. The patent was issued to Emil Berliner in 1877. Adolf Hitler was born in 1889. Unless he was busy in the womb. And, you know, that even would have been off. But who knows? Maybe he had some kind of divine conception years before and was in his mother's womb and no one even knew it. And he was inventing the microphone there. I don't know. I don't know where these people get this, but I do know this, okay? There are a lot of mental midgets out there. And people like Kanye West need to be seen for what they are. He's an antiSemite. He's not a good guy. Yes, he may very well be mentally ill, but just saying the reason he's saying this shit is that he's off his meds is belittling what's going on here. Being mentally ill and off your meds does not make you a racist, a bigot, a fascist, a Nazi-loving idiot. You are all of those things anyway. If you're off your meds, you're just allowing it to come to the surface. That's the way this shit works. Okay? We have a guy here who literally has the ear of millions of people. Okay? He has the ear of the former president of the United States who invited him along with a raging anti-Semite, white nationalist, incel, and woman hater, and Nicholas Fuentes. They came to dinner at Donald Trump's house, who then claimed he was being set up by Kanye. And by the way, the world's richest man just put them back on fucking Twitter. And we're not in trouble? Oh, I beg to differ, folks. Any of you who thinks this just is, you know, a show needs to shut the fuck up, because that isn't what's going on here. I'll talk to y'all later.